Um, so I just wanted to make a quick video just voicing my opinion on a few things that have kind of upset me. I don't know if you've heard of Spoonie Essentials Box. It's a subscription box that is targeted towards chronically ill patients, people. And so it's a box you get once a month, and you just get little fun things like pillows and samples of stuff. I had ordered it about a year ago or something like that, and I had gotten it. I loved it. I used all the stuff that's in it. I continue to use all the stuff that's in it, but I couldn't pay for anymore, so I stopped getting them for about 6 months. Come September, I decided that I wanted to get them monthly. So I signed up for the month-to-month plan, and when I signed up, it took $50 out of my account. And at this point, it was already past the deadline for the September box, which I was totally fine for because I knew when the deadline was, and I knew I had passed it, so I wasn't upset about the September box. Come October 21st, I got charged again, about $50. I was a little confused on why I had been charged again, since I had already paid for one box. I know that I wasn't going to receive that box, but I wasn't sure why I was getting charged again. And so I had emailed, actually Facebook Messengered Spoonie Essentials Box, and Brittany cleared it up for me. I asked, hey, what's going on? And we spoke a little bit, and I understood. I mean, she's a fellow Spoonie, and I wasn't like too upset at the time because I knew, one, I had passed the deadline for the September box, and I wasn't going to get a box. So I wasn't really upset at that point. When I did get upset is come November, I had not received a box. And at that point, I decided to go ahead and cancel my subscription to go ahead and see, just make sure I get the one box that I paid for, actually 2 boxes that I paid for, see if I got those before I got charged anymore. When I had originally talked to Brittany, she said that the two $50 that I had paid, the September one would translate into the October box, and the October payment would transfer into the November box. And so I was okay with that. I mean, it made sense, since I had already crossed the deadline for the September box. And so I decided to go ahead and stop my subscription, just so I wouldn't have any more money taken out of my account. Come November, I still had not gotten a box. In October, I didn't get a box at all. And so at this point, I was a little confused. I was like, hey, I didn't get a box. I would really like a box. And I mean, I paid for these. I paid almost $100 for these 2 boxes. And I had emailed her multiple times, and I follow her on Instagram, and there's a post that said that 67 labels did not print, and said email this email address and we will get it figured out. And so I did, and I waited, and I never got a response back. At this point, I'm getting a little bit more upset because I have spent $100 on boxes that I have not gotten. So I emailed her. I asked for a refund. Did not receive a response. I then had to take it into with my bank because I was not able to get contact of her, and I really would have liked that $50, that actually $100 back. And so I went ahead and called the bank. I emailed her again saying that I had taken this on with the bank. And magically, I had gotten a response saying, and at that point, I was kind of really upset. I had left a review on her Facebook page saying just I was really confused, and I hadn't gotten any emails. I mean, not even like a, it was just, I was frustrated. And I had seen that on her Instagram page, everyone else was saying, I just want my October box, I want this, this, and this. I had seen that there was a lot of boxes missing. I was kind of upset because I wasn't alone. So I did leave a review. I mean, I was very upset at the time. I mean, I could have worded it a little bit better, and I recognize that now. I basically just asked where was the money going, because I had spent $100 on a box, 2 boxes that I had never gotten. I said a few other things, just how I was just really confused. I ended up finding some other people that had also gotten it, that had also written a review, and I commented and I just said that I had given $100 for boxes that I had never received. And like I said, as soon as I told Brittany that I had taken it in with the bank, I finally got a response. And the response basically said, and with the 67 boxes missing, the person that posted said that Brittany, her phone was broken, her Mac charger was left in the ER, which I can understand. I mean, brain fog and stuff. So continuing on, Brittany responded, and I told her, I just asked, basically she told me, just kind of, a lot of excuses, which I kind of was a little weary of, because it was just excuses every single time. One of them, it was just kind of like, and it just seemed like a very excuse-ridden response. She did say that she was going to give me a refund, which they did show up, which I was very happy about. So I had found a few other people that had written reviews similar to mine, and I had commented and just was like, hey, I relate. And I ended up leading into this whole conversation with a few other people that was just kind of very shocking to me. One, as a chronic illness person myself, I know my limits. I sometimes pass those limits, and I know when I need to pull back a little bit, and I know when I do need to apologize for people. I don't make up excuses. I mean, there's no really excuse to make up. And so what just kind of shocked me is the fact that Brittany, you go, girl. Everything you do is amazing. She was getting her doctorate, she was in grad school, and she was running a business. But there's at a certain point that you have to realize too much is too much. And it was kind of really late in the game that she realized that. Just recently emailed and said that she was quitting graduate school. But I feel like that was so late after all the complaints had come in and all of the boxes that were missing. It was just so far after. It was just kind of like, now you're doing this? She then wrote a response to, not wrote, but she put up a YouTube video, which is what I'm going to do. She put up a YouTube video doing a Q&A. And she actually referenced my review, and I know each box was $50, so if everyone is in the same situation as me, there is hundreds of dollars that isn't getting translated into boxes. basically her response was that she was shocked at the lack of empathy. And I just kind of found this a little bit ridiculous. We know how she feels. I mean, we all have chronic illnesses and that affect us in every single way. We know that it's hard for her, and we know that every little day things for us is hard, so we can't imagine how hard it is for her. I think for me, I had given her a chance way back in the line just to, because I knew chronic illness, again. And so I was just kind of shocked that she said that we had a lack of empathy for her. The next thing was that she said was the money that it goes to. She says she donates 15 boxes to a different hospital each month. I'm all about community service. I do tons of stuff for my community, for my towns, for my state. But when it comes to having a business, I think you need to focus to fulfill the paying customers first before you can give back. I know it's difficult. I know you want to make people happy, but when there's money involved, it kind of all changes. I'm happy that she's donating boxes. I think that's great because hospital stays are horrible. They're never something you want to have. And so enjoying that little box can make that hospital stay a little bit better. The next thing I was frustrated about is that basically with her phone charger, her Mac charger and her phone breaking, it's kind of frustrating because if you really cared about your business, I feel like you would find other ways to respond and figure things out. I know that, again, I'm going to emphasize this throughout the whole video. I know it is very difficult with chronic illness. I know it is very difficult. I struggle with it too. But I feel like you should have at least, went over to a friend's house and borrowed their laptop and tried to cycle through the most important emails. And so I just kind of felt like that was kind of odd how she didn't try. And again, she said that, one, the money didn't go to her personal expenses. And I understand that, but there's other ways. There's so many resources nowadays. There's the library, everything. There's friends and family and all of that. And then in the video, she also addressed that some days she just doesn't want to go to the post office. Again, I get that. Some days you just can't get out of bed. Some days it's just so difficult. You can't move. It hurts. You can't do anything. But again, when there's money involved, you need to find other ways. I know that USPS picks up boxes from your front door. Again, resources, looking into it, research, friends and family. And it's really frustrating. I guess overall, I just feel the video was very excuse ridden. We're all Spoonies. We all understand the pains, the struggles. It's a Spoonie Essential Box. All the customers are Spoonies. And so the fact that, it was just so many excuses that, we can relate to you, Brittany. You let it go way too long and it just snowballed. And I understand that. It's frustrating to say, okay, I can't do this. And it's frustrating to let your chronic illness win. But sometimes, and it's more even true when money and business is involved. I'm not saying you were intentionally stealing from people, but that's what it felt like for me. Because I had paid $100 and I really wanted this box because I really needed a pick-me-up, and I really wanted to see what's inside because I loved the themes and all of this, and I just felt kind of upset because I didn't get that. I at least got my money back, which I am very happy for, and thank you for that. But overall, I applaud Brittany for working very hard. I know it's very tough, and I've said this so many times, and I'm sorry for repeating so much stuff. I applaud her. She has confidence. And, I mean, wanting to do all those things. I mean, I know we all want to do all those things, but there's a certain point that you need to learn. You need to stop, take a breather, do some research to find out how much a business costs, which she also addressed that she did not know how expensive a business was. Do some research on business, shipping companies, all of that. I feel like there should have been more thinking involved before you started the business. Just imagining, at the time you probably didn't think it was going to be big, but you have to just plan ahead. Planning ahead for those thousands of subscribers. You have to plan ahead. And I feel like that's very hard to do as a chronic illness patient because you don't know what the next day is gonna be like. But I feel like there was a lack of trying, a lack of asking for help. And again, I know that that's very difficult to do when you're chronically ill because you want to do everything your own. This video is not meant to bash you. This is just to state my opinion and what I think you could have done better. I hope it helps you. I know it's kind of all over the place because, I mean, my brain is not, I'm very brain foggy right now, and I'm just upset, as I know many customers are. I loved Spoonie Essentials Box when I first got it. I loved it, but I just feel it's gone downhill. I applaud you for finally asking for help, and I really do hope that everything turns out okay, and everything gets figured out, and I wish you the best, Brittany.